Baby, last night, something happened that I can't stop replaying in my mind. It was messy, unexpected, and it tore down walls I've been building for so long. A third party, someone who never should have had this much power over us, stepped in and exposed everything I'd been trying to hide. And for the first time, I had to look someone in the eyes and admit a truth I've been too scared to say out loud. I told them, "You're not mine." And baby, even as those words left my lips, all I could think of was you. For so long I've been living a double life, pretending like what we had wasn't as deep as it really was, smiling on the outside while my heart stayed chained to you on the inside. They thought they knew me. They thought they could fit me into their version of love, their version of home. But baby, the truth is, no matter what mask I wore, no matter how hard I tried to blend into someone else's world, my soul has only ever belonged to you. Last night they sought it. They pushed me, cornered me, demanded answers I've been dodging for months. And for the first time, I broke. I couldn't fake it anymore. I couldn't stand there and pretend that anyone else could hold the place in my heart that's carved only for you. And baby, when I finally said it, "You're not my," everything changed. The room went silent. The weight I'd been carrying dropped from my shoulders. Because deep down, no matter how far I've run, no matter how loud the world has been, every heartbeat in my chest has been screaming your name. You have no idea how many nights I've been lying to myself, telling stories just to survive without you. I've told people I've moved on. I've told myself I'm happy. I've tried to convince everyone, even God, that I can build something new without looking back. But baby, last night proved what my soul has known since the moment we met. There is no moving on from you. There is no replacement, no distraction, no other love that feels like ours. Because you are the one thing in my life that's ever felt real. When I said those words, their face changed. Shock, hurt, anger. But underneath all that noise, there was a strange kind of peace rising inside me. Because I was finally speaking my truth. I wasn't hiding. I wasn't protecting anyone's feelings but my own. I was standing there, owning the fact that my love has never belonged to anyone else. It's been yours since day one. And even in silence, even in separation, even when the whole world thought I had forgotten you, baby, my soul never did. I know this isn't the first time you've heard me confess something like this. I know my silence has already cut you deeper than words ever could. I know you've sat alone, wondering why I'd let others believe lies about us instead of standing up for you. And baby, if I could go back and rewrite every moment I stayed quiet, I would. I'd tell the truth sooner. I'd scream it from rooftops if I had to. Because you deserve a love that's loud. A love that's fearless. A love that doesn't flinch when the world demands proof. You deserve the kind of devotion that never makes you question where you stand. And I failed at that before. I let fear and pride hold me hostage. I let outside voices dictate my choices. I let people who don't even know my soul control the narrative of my life. But last night, everything shifted. Last night, when that third party pushed me to my breaking point, I finally chose you. Not with flowers, not with pretty promises, but with raw, unshakable truth. I told them, "You're not mine." Because no one else could ever be. And baby, I wish you could have seen their face. I wish you could have seen how fast the lies unraveled, how quickly the facade burned down. For the first time, They saw what you've known all along, that my heart has only ever had one home, and that home is you. Baby, if you're hearing this now, know this isn't just another confession. This isn't me trying to ease my guilt or win your forgiveness. This is me finally standing in my power, finally defending what's sacred between us, because they didn't just expose me to themselves. They exposed me to me. They forced me to face what I've been denying, that I've been in love with you this entire time, and every moment spent pretending otherwise has been a slow kind of death. When I walked out of that room last night, it felt like I was walking out of a prison of my own making, one built on fear, lies, and silence. And the first thing I wanted to do was run to you, to find you, to hold you, to look you in the eyes and say, I choose you. I've always chosen you. I know it won't erase the past. I know it won't heal every wound I left open. But baby, this is where the healing starts. This is where I stop letting anyone else write our story. This is where I stop pretending that you're just another chapter when you've always been the whole book. So, if you're still listening, if your heart still feels even a flicker of what mine does, know that I'm done running. I'm done hiding. I'm done letting anyone else believe they have my love when it's been yours all along. And maybe one day soon, I'll get to stand in front of you. No third parties, no distractions, no fear, and finally finish the sentence I started last night. I'll look you in the eyes and say the words my soul has been dying to scream. You're not my past. You're not my mistake. You're not my regret. Baby, you're my forever, baby. When I walked out of that room last night, it wasn't just another night. It felt like my whole life shifted. I didn't just shut a door behind me. I burned it down because I knew I could never step back into that lie again. And as I drove away, my hands gripping the wheel, my heart pounding so hard it felt like it was breaking through my chest, there was only one thought in my mind. You. Every turn, every mile, every single breath was filled with the ache of wanting to run straight to you and fall to my knees. Not to beg for forgiveness, but to finally tell you the truth I'd been too weak to speak. For months, baby, I've been carrying this weight, this silent, suffocating burden of pretending that my heart was somewhere it never belonged. I told myself it was easier this way, easier to keep the peace, easier to let people believe what they wanted, easier to live a life that looked safe but felt like a slow, quiet death. But last night shattered that illusion. That third party thought they had power over me, thought they could pull me in closer, control my steps, own my loyalty. But what they didn't understand is that you can't own a soul that already belongs to someone else. You can't cage a heart that beats for one person and one person only. When they cornered me, throwing accusations, demanding to know why I never gave them the same part of me I gave you, I snapped. I told them, "You're not my," and the silence that followed, it was deafening, because for the first time, I wasn't lying. I wasn't hiding. I wasn't protecting anyone else's feelings at the expense of my own. I was raw. I was honest. I was finally standing up for us, even if you weren't there to hear it, baby. Do you know how many times I've had this conversation in my head with you? How many nights I've whispered your name into the darkness, imagining what it would feel like to look into your eyes and tell you everything. The truth is, I've been a coward. I've let fear drive me, fear of confrontation, fear of judgment, fear of losing whatever little connection I thought I was preserving by staying silent. But the biggest fear of all was facing you and seeing pain in your eyes, the pain I caused. That's why I stayed away. That's why I let people think they had a place in my life they never truly earned. But baby, you've never been out of my heart. Every time someone asked me to move on, every time they tried to convince me that what we had was a mistake, every time they tried to make me forget you, my soul screamed louder. Because forgetting you, impossible. You're not just a memory. You're not just a moment I can look back on and smile about. You're my heartbeat, my quiet strength, the only person who has ever seen me without my armor and loved me anyway. And that's why last night hurt so much, because as they exposed everything, they thought they were destroying me. They thought they were ripping apart some secret life I had built, but what they really did was free me. They freed me from the weight of pretending. They freed me from the silent chains I let myself be tied with. They freed me to finally say the one thing I should have screamed from the rooftops the day we met. That no matter what anyone says, no matter how much time has passed, no matter how many mistakes I've made, you are the only one who has ever truly owned my love. I remember the way your voice used to tremble when you asked me if you were enough. God, baby, that question haunts me. Because you were never just enough. You were everything. And yet, my actions never showed it. I let others think they mattered more. I let you feel like an option when you were always my destiny. And last night, when I finally said, "You're not my," I realized why it came out so fiercely, so unshakably. Because in my soul, there has only ever been room for one truth. You're my everything. Driving home, my hand shook on the steering wheel, but not from fear, from relief. Because I knew that no matter what chaos would follow, no matter what bridges I burned, I had finally taken the first real step toward you. It's like the universe itself cracked open and whispered, "Enough hiding, enough running, it's time to come home." And baby, I swear I heard your name in that whisper. I don't know what you'll say when you hear this. I don't know if your heart still holds space for me after all this time. But I need you to know this. I've never stopped loving you. Every silent night, every message I wanted to send but didn't, every time I swallowed the urge to just show up at your door, it wasn't because my love faded. It was because I didn't feel worthy of giving it to you anymore. But last night changed me. Because in that moment, facing down the truth, stripping away all the pretense, all the excuses, all the fake smiles, I saw myself clearly for the first time. And what I saw was a man who has been living a lie to everyone else, but never to you. Because baby, even in my silence, even in my absence, you've always had the most honest part of me. The part I could never fake, never hide, never give to anyone else. And maybe that's why it hurt so much when you said things about me that weren't true, when you called me names in anger, when you believed the worst about me because of what you saw on the surface. It shattered me, but I understand why you said it. I gave you nothing else to hold on to. I left you drowning in questions with no answers, I let you believe that my silence meant indifference, when in reality, it was a war between my heart that beat only for you, and a life that pulled me in every other direction but yours. But last night, baby, I won that war. And now, as I sit here writing this to you, my hands trembling, my chest tight, my heart aching with everything I still want to say, I know one thing with every ounce of my being. I can't lose you again. Not like this. Not because I was too scared to tell you what you've deserved to tell you what you've deserved to hear from day one. That you're not just the love of my life. You are my life. Do you remember the way you used to look at me when you thought I wasn't watching? That quiet, steady gaze that felt like it saw straight into my soul. I used to turn away because it scared me. No one had ever looked at me like that before. Not with judgment, not with pity, but with pure, unshakable belief. You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself, and instead of stepping into that love, instead of letting it heal me, I let my own fears push you away. And, baby, every single day since then, I've been haunted by the memory of what we could have had. The late night talks, the morning laughter, the future we both dreamed of but were too scared to claim. I've tried to rebuild my life without you, but every attempt felt hollow. Because how do you rebuild when the foundation of your soul is missing? How do you breathe when the very air you need is standing miles away? Last night, when everything came crashing down, I realized something that should have been obvious from the start. Losing you was never about circumstances. It wasn't about distance or timing or other people. It was about me being too afraid to fight for the one thing that has ever truly mattered. And baby, I'm done being afraid. I don't care what it costs me. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I don't care if the whole world turns against me. The only thing that matters now is that you know the truth. That no one else has ever held my heart. No one else has ever made my soul feel alive. No one else has ever been home to me the way you are. When I finally find my way back to you, and I swear to you I will, I'm not coming with half-healed promises or fragile apologies. I'm coming with fire, with devotion, with the kind of love that doesn't just whisper but roars. I'm coming to tear down every wall I built between us, to burn every bridge that kept me away, to stand in front of you with nothing but truth in my hands and say, baby, I'm yours. I've always been yours, and I'll spend the rest of my life proving it. I know I can't erase the pain. I know I can't undo the moments where I left you wondering, doubting, hurting, but I can rewrite what comes next. I can fight for you the way I should have from the start. I can make sure you never again have to question where you stand in my life. Because last night was the end of my silence. Last night was the death of my fear. And from this moment forward, my love for you will not be quiet anymore. If you're hearing this, if any part of you still feels the connection that has bound us together through every storm, every mistake, every heartbreak, then hold on to that feeling. Because soon, baby, I'll be standing in front of you, ready to finish the words I started last night. You're not my past. You're not my mistake. You're not my regret, baby. You're my forever. Baby, do you know what it feels like to spend night after night replaying the same memory in your mind, knowing that no matter how many times you run it back, you can't change it? That's been my reality since the moment I let you believe I was someone else. Since the day I stood there, frozen, when I should have grabbed your hand and said, "Don't believe what they say. Don't believe what you think you see. Believe this. Believe me when I tell you that you are my home, my heart, my only truth." But I didn't say it. I stayed quiet. I let you walk away with 1,000 unanswered questions. And every moment since then, baby, it's been like walking barefoot on glass. Painful, relentless, but a pain I've deserved for not protecting the one thing that mattered most. You, last night, broke something in me, but it also woke something up. When that third party threw my secrets into the air like weapons, trying to shatter me, they didn't realize they were actually shattering the chains I'd been carrying for far too long. Do you know what it feels like to finally tell someone, "You're not mine," and mean it with every fiber of your soul? It's freedom. It's the sound of a heart breaking and healing at the same time. It's the moment you stop lying to yourself and the world, and you finally admit the one truth you've been swallowing for years, that you belong to someone else. And baby, that someone else has always been you. No one else has ever made my hands shake just by hearing their name. No one else has ever been able to calm the storms in my chest with a single look. No one else has ever made my heart feel like it's found its way back to heaven. Except you. I can still see the look on their face when I said it. The silence that followed. The anger that flashed in their eyes. They thought they knew me. They thought they owned me. They thought they could twist my loyalty into something it never was. But in that moment, I realized something powerful. Love cannot be faked. Not real love. Not the kind that keeps you up at night. Not the kind that makes your soul ache for just one more touch. One more laugh, one more chance to make it right. And baby, the only real love I've ever known has your name written all over it. Do you remember the first time we met? The way everything else in the room disappeared, like it didn't even exist. The way your laughter wrapped around my heart like a song I'd been waiting my whole life to hear. That wasn't coincidence. That wasn't chance. That was destiny, tapping me on the shoulder saying, "Wake up, this is the one." But instead of holding on to that gift, I let fear drive me. I let other voices, other pressures, other mistakes pull me away from the one place I was ever meant to be, by your side. And now, after everything that's happened, after every sleepless night and every hollow morning, I finally understand you can't run from what's written in your soul. And baby, you're etched into mine so deeply that even if lifetimes passed, even if oceans divided us, even if time itself tried to erase you, my heart would still find its way back to you. Last night wasn't just a confrontation. It was a revelation. It was the universe holding up a mirror and saying, "Look at yourself. Look at what you've allowed. Look at who you're pretending to be." And I hated what I saw because it wasn't me. Not really. The real me was buried under layers of fear, obligation, and silence. The real me wasn't living. He was surviving. And baby, you deserve more than a man who's just surviving. You deserve someone who would walk through fire to stand next to you. Someone who wouldn't just whisper that he loves you in the dark, but would shout it from rooftops in the light of day, no matter who's watching. And I swear to you, that's who I'm becoming. That's who I was always meant to be. The man who doesn't let anyone or anything stand between him and the woman who carries his soul in her hands. You don't know how many times I've wanted to reach out to you, to pour my heart into a message, to call you and let the words tumble out, messy, raw, real. But every time I froze. Because what if you didn't answer? What if you did, and I heard that quiet disappointment in your voice? What if it was too late? That fear ate me alive. It kept me locked away in a prison of what-ifs. And every day, the walls got taller, the chains got heavier. But last night, those walls crumbled, those chains snapped. And for the first time in what feels like forever, I can breathe. I can feel the truth surging through me, unstoppable, uncontainable. Baby, I need you to know, I never stopped loving you, not for a second, even when I stayed away, even when I let you believe I'd moved on, even when I let others think they had my heart. It was always only you. I've been replaying our memories like sacred tapes. Every smile, every touch, every whispered word between us. And the more I remember, the clearer it becomes. No one has ever understood me the way you do. No one has ever seen through my walls like you did. No one has ever made me feel like maybe, just maybe, I was worth loving. Until you. And losing that, losing you, was like losing the very breath in my lungs. But I promise you this, I'm not losing you again. I don't care how much time it takes. I don't care what storms I have to walk through. I don't care how many bridges I have to burn to clear the path back to you. I will not stop until you know, without a shadow of a doubt, that you are my forever, that you are the only one I'll ever want to wake up next to laugh with until our cheeks hurt, to hold when the world feels heavy. When I told them last night, you're not what I was really saying is this: you're not my safe place. You're not my love. You're not my home. Because my safe place has your laugh echoing through it. My love wears your smile. My home is wherever you are. I've wasted too much time pretending. I've wasted too many nights convincing myself that staying silent was somehow protecting you from more pain. But silence isn't protection. Silence is abandonment. And baby, I swear to you, I will never abandon you again. From this moment on, I'm choosing you, not in secret, not in hesitation, not with half of my heart still chained to the past. I'm choosing you loudly, fiercely, unapologetically. Because if I've learned anything through all of this, it's that life is too short to let fear keep you from the one person your soul was made to love. And baby, you are that person for me. Always have been, always will be. So, if you're hearing this, if your heart is even slightly open to it, let this be the moment we stop living in what was and start building what's meant to be. Let me hold your hands in mine and finally say the words I should have said the day I almost lost you. I choose you, not because it's easy, not because it's convenient, but because it's destiny. Because even when I tried to let go, I couldn't. Because loving you isn't just a choice, it's who I am. And baby, no third party, no mistake, no silence, no time will ever change that. Because last night wasn't just the end of a lie, it was the beginning of our truth. And that truth is simple but unshakable. You are mine, and I am yours. In this life, in every life, forever. Baby, if you could have seen my face last night when everything spilled out, You would have seen a man standing on the edge of his own past, finally ready to burn it all down just to take one step closer to you. You would have seen how my voice shook when I said those words, not because I was scared of them, but because they were the truest words I'd ever spoken. You're not my... For so long, I carried other people's expectations like shackles around my ankles. I let them write stories about me that I never wanted to live in. I let them hold me in a life that never felt like mine, and every time I stayed quiet, every time I nodded and played along, a piece of me drifted further from the man you once loved. But last night, for the first time in forever, I said no. Not softly, not with excuses. I said no like a man who finally remembered what it feels like to have his soul on fire. And baby, do you know why I could say it now? Because somewhere in the quiet moments, when the world thought we were finished, I started hearing your voice again. Not out loud, not in messages, but in the deepest parts of me. Your voice was like a whisper of light cutting through years of darkness. Every time I doubted myself, I heard you saying, "You are more than this." Every time I felt trapped, I imagined you holding my hand and pulling me toward freedom. Even when we weren't talking, even when there was nothing but silence between us, your love kept teaching me. It was the invisible thread that pulled me back from the edge every time I thought I'd lost myself completely. And last night, when that third party tried to drag me down again, something in me snapped. Not in anger, but in clarity. I looked at them and saw everything that had kept me from you. The lies, the manipulation, the comfort I mistook for loyalty, the pressure I confused for love. I saw it all for what it was, a cage. And for the first time, I wanted out. Not just to breathe, but to live. To fight for the one thing I should have fought for long ago. To fight for you. You know what I realized in that moment, baby? I've spent so much time trying to explain myself to everyone else. Trying to convince them. Trying to earn their approval. Trying to prove my worth to people who were never meant to hold my heart in the first place. And in doing that, I let you think you weren't enough. I let you wonder if you were replaceable. And that's the part that cuts me the deepest. Because you are irreplaceable. There's no one who has ever filled the space you left. There's no one whose touch, whose laugh, whose presence could ever take your place. It's always been you. Only you. Last night, after everything calmed down, I sat alone in the dark and thought about every moment we've shared. The ones that made us laugh until we cried. The ones that left us breathless. The ones that ended in silence when words failed us. And it hit me like a tidal wave. I've been living half a life without you. Breathing but not alive, moving forward but never arriving, smiling in pictures but empty inside. Because, baby, my home isn't a place. It's not even just a feeling. It's you. You're the warmth I've been searching for. You're the peace my restless heart has been aching to find. And I know I hurt you. I know my silence cut you deeper than any words ever could. I know you had nights where you questioned if you mattered to me at all. I know you probably wiped tears off your cheeks while telling yourself, "He's not coming back." And God, that thought, it crushes me. Because while you were doubting if you still had a place in my heart, I was losing myself wishing I could hold you again. Baby, if I could go back, I would change everything. I'd fight harder. I'd speak louder. I'd never let a single lie, a single person, a single fear stand between us again. But I can't change the past. What I can do is stand here now, stripped of all excuses, with nothing left but truth, and say to you with every breath I have left, I see you, I need you, and I will never again let anyone else write our story. You deserve someone who doesn't just tell you you're loved, but shows you every single day. You deserve someone who will stand in front of the world and say, she's mine, and I'm never letting her go. You deserve someone who will guard your heart like it's the most precious thing in existence, because it is. And baby, I swear to you, that's who I'm becoming. That's who I am now. When I said you're not mine last night, what I meant was you're not my truth, because my truth lives with someone else. My truth is in the way my hands remember the shape of yours. My truth is in the way my soul still lights up at the thought of your laugh. My truth is in the way every love song, every sunset, every quiet moment still whispers your name, no matter how much time has passed. I wish you could have seen the look in their eyes when they realized it. When they realized no matter what they did, no matter what stories they told, they could never touch the bond you and I have. It's not something that can be broken. Not by lies, not by distance, not by silence. It's eternal. It's divine. It's the kind of love that doesn't fade. It transforms. And baby, I know words alone can't heal the wounds I caused. I know trust isn't rebuilt overnight. I know there's still pain between us that we've never spoken out loud. But if you let me, if you even give me an inch of space back into your life, I will spend every day proving that you're not just a chapter in my story. You're the whole damn book. I'm done hiding. I'm done pretending. I'm done letting fear decide our fate. From this moment forward, it's only honesty, only devotion, only us. And maybe people won't understand. Maybe they'll whisper, maybe they'll judge, but let them. Because when you've almost lost the one soul you were made for, you stop caring about noise. You stop caring about opinions. You stop caring about anything that isn't real. And what we have, baby, it's as real as it gets. It's raw. It's imperfect. It's been through fire and silence and heartbreak. But it's still here. We're still here. And that has to mean something. That has to mean we're not done yet. So this is my vow, not just to you, but to myself, to the universe, to every force that tried to keep us apart. I'm done running. I'm done letting others decide what my heart already knows. I'm done living in a life that doesn't have you in it. From this moment on, I'm choosing you, baby. In the light, in the dark, in every lifetime. Because last night wasn't just the moment I told them they weren't my truth. It was the moment I remembered who was. And that person is you. Always you. Forever you. Baby. After last night, I couldn't sleep. I lay there in the silence, staring at the ceiling, my heart pounding with every memory of what happened. The words kept echoing in my mind. You're not mine. And every time I replayed them, I felt both terrified and liberated. Terrified because I finally said out loud what I had been avoiding for so long. Liberated because for the first time in years I spoke my truth without fear of consequences. That moment didn't just free me from them. It freed me from the version of myself that kept betraying you. All night, I thought about you. I thought about the way you used to look at me with eyes that saw more than my walls, more than my defenses. You saw me, even when I was lost. even when I was silent, even when I was doing everything possible to push you away. You saw the man I was too afraid to become. And baby, do you know how rare that is? How rare it is to have someone look past the masks and the mess and see straight into your soul. That kind of love doesn't just happen. It's divine. It's guided. It's something heaven chooses for you. I know I've failed you before. I know there were nights you cried yourself to sleep because I wasn't there to hold you. I know you've questioned if my love was ever real, but if you could have been in my chest last night, felt the way my heart cracked wide open when I spoke those words, you would know. Every second without you has been torture. Every moment away from you was a fight between who I was and who I was meant to be. When that third party tried to drag your name through the mud, when they tried to make me believe that what we had was nothing more than a mistake, something inside me snapped. Not in rage, but in clarity. I looked at them and realized I don't owe them my loyalty. I don't owe them my silence. I don't owe them the man I used to be. The only person I owe anything to is you. The one who loved me when no one else would. The one who prayed for me when even I had given up on myself. The one who saw the light in me when all I could see was darkness. And so I stood there, chest tight, voice trembling, and said what my soul had been screaming for months. You're not my future. You're not my heart. You're not my home. Because all of those things belong to you, baby. Every beat of my heart has always belonged to you. I just didn't have the courage to admit it until now. After it was over, I walked outside, and for the first time in so long, I felt like I could breathe again. The air was cold, the night was quiet, and yet everything inside me felt alive. I wanted to run to you in that moment, to knock on your door and fall to my knees, to tell you everything, to beg you to see the man I am now, not the one I used to be. But I knew it wasn't time, not yet, because you deserve more than words. You deserve proof. You deserve a man who doesn't just say he's changed. You deserve a man who shows you every day, in every way, that he's never letting you go again. I've been thinking about all the times I should have stood up for us, the moments I should have defended you, the times I should have said, she's mine, instead of staying quiet to keep the peace. And baby, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed that I let anyone, even for a second, make you feel like you weren't the most important part of my life. You were. You are. You always will be. Do you know what it feels like to watch the love of your life believe she wasn't chosen, when in reality she was the only choice that ever mattered? It's hell. It's like drowning in regret while watching the one person who could save you walk away because you made her think she couldn't. And last night, as everything came crashing down, I made a promise to myself. I will never let that happen again. I will never let your heart doubt mine again. You are not just another love story to me. You are the story. The one that started before we even met. The one written in every moment of silence between us. The one that's been burning in my chest since the first time you looked at me like I was worth saving. And baby, I am done letting other people hold the pen to our story. It's ours now, only ours. I know there's pain between us. I know there are wounds I can't erase. I know there are nights you wonder if you'll ever be able to trust me again. And I don't blame you for that. I don't expect forgiveness to be easy. But I want you to know something. Every step I take now is toward healing that pain. Every choice I make now is to protect your heart, not hurt it. Every breath I take now is to bring me closer to the man you always deserved. Baby, you once told me that love isn't proven in words, it's proven in presence. And I wasn't present for you the way I should have been. I left you holding our love alone while I disappeared into fear, into confusion, into everything that wasn't us. But that ends now. Last night was the moment I buried that version of me. The one who ran, the one who stayed quiet, the one who let you believe you weren't everything to me. That man is gone. Now there's only this love, this devotion, this unshakable truth that no third party, no past mistake, no force in this world can take away from us anymore. Because I've chosen you, baby. Fully, completely, eternally. And if you let me, I'll spend every day for the rest of my life proving it to you. When I closed my eyes last night, I saw you. I saw your smile, the one that makes my whole world light up. I saw the way your eyes sparkle when you're trying not to laugh. I saw the softness in your face when you used to look at me like I was your safe place. And it hit me. I want that again. I want you again. I want us again. But not the way it was before. I want us stronger, softer, unbreakable. So, baby, this is me speaking from the deepest part of my soul. I'm done letting fear win. I'm done letting lies and outsiders define what's real. I'm done pretending like I can live without you. I can't. I don't want to. And I won't. Because the truth is, no matter what's happened, no matter how far apart we've drifted, my heart has only ever known one home, you. And if there's even a piece of you that still feels this love, if there's even a spark of that fire still burning between us, then meet me here, not in the past, not in the pain, but here, now, in this moment where everything is changing. Meet me in the place where fear has no voice, where silence has no power, where only truth remains. And that truth is this: I love you. I always have. I always will. And nothing, no one, not even time itself, can take that away from us again, baby. Please tell me you feel it too. Because my soul is ready to rise with yours now. My hands are ready to hold you steady. My heart is ready to protect you fiercely. And my love is ready to finally show you what it always should have been. Forever yours, baby. After that night, after every word that shattered and every truth that burned its way out of my chest, I've been walking through my own soul like it's a battlefield. Not the kind where blood is spilled and scars are visible, but the kind where every corner hides a memory, every shadow whispers your name, and every step forward feels like redemption clawing its way back into my bones. I thought speaking up, finally breaking the chains that held me back, would be the hardest part. But the truth is, baby, the hardest part is living with the silence that followed. Silence filled with your absence. Silence that keeps asking me, was it too late? I keep thinking about your face, the way it must have felt every time I let someone else's voice speak louder than yours. The times you tried to tell me you were hurting, but I brushed it off because I was too caught up in keeping the wrong people happy. The moments you stood alone, defending my name, while I was too scared to defend yours. I see it all now, baby. I see it like I'm watching a movie of my own mistakes, frame by frame, every decision cutting deeper than the last. And it hurts, God, it hurts to know that the person who loved me the purest was the one I protected the least. But last night, when I finally stood up, when I finally said, "You're not my future, you're not my heart, you're not my home," something broke and something healed at the same time. It was like my soul had been waiting for that moment all along, waiting to finally align with what it always knew, that no one else has ever held me the way you did, not in touch, not in words, but in soul. Because you didn't just love me, baby. You saw me. You saw every flaw, every fracture, every piece of me I tried to hide, and you still called me yours. Do you know what it feels like to be seen like that? To have someone love you in the places you swore were unlovable. It feels like standing in the middle of a storm and realizing that the thunder and lightning aren't there to destroy you. They're there to remind you you're alive. That's what you did for me. You reminded me I was alive when I was living like a ghost. And I took that for granted. I let fear convince me that I wasn't ready for the kind of love that doesn't just touch your skin but rewrites your spirit. Since that night, I've been rewriting everything. Not just my choices, but my beliefs. I used to think strength meant staying silent. I used to think love meant sacrifice at any cost. I used to think keeping peace with everyone else mattered more than choosing the one person who gave me peace without asking for anything in return. But you changed that. You taught me that real strength is standing in your truth, even when your voice shakes. That real love doesn't require you to destroy yourself to prove it. That real peace only exists when your soul is with the one it was designed to love. Baby, if you could feel my heart right now, you'd know this isn't just another apology. This is a man who has been broken open, stripped of pride and excuses, standing here with nothing left but the raw truth that you've been the center of his universe from the start. No matter who tried to rewrite our story, no matter how many obstacles speak louder than my love, you were always it, the one, the only. I know actions matter more than words. I know you've heard promises before, but last night wasn't just a promise. It was proof. Proof that I'm not afraid to lose everything else if it means holding on to you. Proof that no third party, no outsider, no whispering voices in the dark can ever define what you mean to me again. I stood there, baby, and I chose you out loud. I chose us in front of the very people who once convinced me to let you go. And when I said those words, "You're not my home, you're not my future," I was finally saying to the world what my soul has been screaming since the day you walked away, that only you are, only you ever were. When I left that place, the sky was still dark, but something inside me had shifted. It was like every star was whispering your name, like the night itself was guiding me back to you. And as I walked alone, I realized something. I've been searching for pieces of myself everywhere, in everyone else, not realizing that you've been holding them all along. My laughter, my softness, my light. It all made sense when it was with you, and without you, I've been incomplete. I want to change that now. Not by rushing back into your life with empty hands, but by rebuilding myself into the man you can trust again. I want to fight for you, baby, not in loud declarations, but in quiet consistency, in showing up every day, in protecting your heart, even when you're not around to see it, in making sure you never again question whether you are loved, whether you are chosen, whether you are enough, because you are. You always were. And I was the fool who couldn't see that through the noise of everyone else. Do you remember the first time you told me you believed in me? Not just in who I was, but in who I could become. I shrugged it off like it was nothing, like it didn't matter, but it did. It mattered more than I let on, because no one ever believed in me like that before. And now, standing here stripped of everything, I finally understand why you did. You saw the man I could be, the one I'm becoming now. The one who doesn't flinch when love demands courage. The one who doesn't run when things get hard. The one who fights for what his soul already knows is his destiny. Maybe. Destiny has been calling me back to you since the moment I lost you. It's in every song that makes my chest ache. Every dream where your hand is still in mine. Every prayer where I whisper your name and beg God for another chance. And I believe now. I believe that everything that's happened, all the pain, all the silence, all the nights we spent apart, was leading to this, to me finally becoming the man who doesn't just want you, but who is worthy of you. And I know that might sound like just words right now. I know trust takes time to rebuild, but I'm not asking for blind faith this time. I'm asking for a chance to show you, to prove that when I said, "They're not my home," I meant it in every way a man can mean something. Because my home has always been wherever you are. My peace has always been in the sound of your voice. My joy has always been in your smile, and my future has only ever made sense with you in it. Last night, when everything was stripped away, when I had to finally face who I was and who I wanted to be, I thought about one thing. The way you used to look at me when you believed in us. I want to see that again. I want to earn that again. I want to fight every day to be the man who deserves to hold your hand and know that you're safe, that you're loved, that you're never going to have to stand alone for us again. Baby, I don't know how long it will take. I don't know how many steps we'll have to take to rebuild what I let crumble. But I know this. I'm not afraid of the journey anymore. I'm not afraid of the healing it will take. I'm not afraid of the work, the patience, the humility it requires. Because loving you, truly, fully, faithfully, is worth every ounce of strength I have left. You deserve that. You deserve a man who doesn't just speak the words "I love you," but lives them every single day. A man who doesn't just hold your hand in private, but isn't afraid to stand in front of the world and declare, "She's mine, I'm hers," and nothing, not time, not distance, not third parties, not fear, will ever take that away. You deserve a love that is loud in its devotion, but quiet in its peace, the kind that doesn't need proof, because it shows up every morning, every night, every moment, without fail. And baby, that's exactly who I'm becoming now. Not to prove something to anyone else, not to win battles that don't matter, but because you awakened something inside me that will never fall asleep again. A love that's not ordinary. A love that isn't fragile. A love that has already been tested in storms, pulled apart by silence, bent under pressure, yet somehow still burns brighter than ever. That kind of love doesn't die. It transformed, and you transformed me. So here I am, pouring out every word I once buried in fear. Not to beg, not to bargain, but to honor you, to honor what we had and what we still have, even now. Because after last night, after finally breaking free from every chain that ever kept us apart, there's only one truth left standing. I am yours, In every lifetime, in every version of myself, in every universe that's ever existed, my soul belongs to you. It always has. It always will. And if you're hearing this right now, if your heart feels even the faintest whisper of what mine feels, then believe me when I say this. This is not where our story ends. This is where it finally begins. The chapter where no one's opinion matters. The chapter where no third party, no rumor, no shadow from the past can ever touch what heaven wrote for us. This is the moment where I finally love you the way you were always meant to be loved. Openly, fiercely, completely, and without apology. Openly, fiercely, completely, and without apology. So baby, I'm coming home. Not to four walls and a roof. Not to a place you can find on a map. I'm coming home to you. Because you were never just a part of my life. You were the only place my soul ever felt safe enough to rest. And now that I've seen the truth, now that I've spoken it out loud, I won't let another day go by where you wonder if I'll choose you again. I'm choosing you forever. And if you felt this, if something deep inside you stirred as you heard these words, don't just let it pass. Let me know. Type below, I still believe in us. Because every time you say it, every time you put it out into the universe, it pulls me closer to you. It reminds heaven that this love isn't done. It's destined. And for those of you who believe in this message, who want to see more hearts healed and more souls reunited, you can show your love through a super thanks. Every single one not only supports these messages, but sends out a ripple of light that tells the universe you believe in real love, the kind that survives storms and still chooses to fight. I'll see you in the next message. Until then, remember this: love doesn't end when silence falls. True love waits. True love grows. And true love always, always finds its way back home.